What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about some pretty big Crimson Desert news. And actually, this came out back in September. I think people just missed it, and it's being caught up right now, and it's good to know for sure. So we got a reconfirmation that the game is still coming in 2025. That is not all that surprising, right? The game is obviously coming out next year, and with the amount of stuff they've shown of it, I honestly think this is probably a first half of the year. I wouldn't be shocked if it was shown off at like the Game Awards or something early in 2025 and it got a date for like May, June. I feel like that kind of is a nice fit for a game like this. But during an investor call back in September, they gave the length of the game, and they also are doing a multiplayer, which is actually enormous. So they say it's about 50 to 80 hours in length with a definitive ending. So just kind of stopping right there really quick. Number one, that's huge. Now, we've heard, in fact, I made a video, yesterday or the day before, where, we kind of looked at the comparisons internally even, right? Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, things like that. These are long games. These are games that are 40, 50, 60 plus hour games. So shouldn't be all that surprising, but just to see those numbers, 50 to 80, that is pretty big, I imagine. That's a mix, I would assume, of side content mixed with main stuff. Hard to believe that a game like this would have the main story taking that. In fact, if you want to compare it to Red Dead Redemption, which is another one I think they compared it to, Red Dead, Witcher, they got meaty stories, right? Witcher's story is very meaty as well. But you know what? It really only makes it 25-ish hours if you're just doing the main quest, right? You're not getting a game unless you're doing like Persona or something, right? You're not getting a game that the main missions are going to take you 50, 60, 70 hours to do. So that's probably a mix of like everything. Even if they say it's not, I am going to imagine that it actually is. And in terms of the definitive ending, I'm not shocked by that. This is a game that very clearly I think has a narrative, right? Like a predetermined narrative. They showed the beginning of the game, I feel. I don't remember when they did it. I'm pretty sure I made a video and I showed the beginning of the game, but they showed like the first half an hour and this kind of big grand scale fight and a lot of things that are going on to kind of set characters up and stuff. So they showed the beginning of the game. This is a game with like a preset path, right? So that's not shocking to me. It's not going to have like your 15 endings or anything like that. And then the multiplayer, that to me actually is kind of shocking. Now they say internally, we plan to release Crimson Desert next year, and after that, develop multiplayer online content for the game, similar to GTA 6's multiplayer mode. And then they talk about like why. It's because of the revenue. There are concerns that revenue from console games is typically concentrated in the first year, leading to worries about long-term earnings. That's why we're developing the multiplayer mode for Crimson Desert, which will feature in-game purchases like skins, weapons, and more. Now, just to kind of end it there, but now give kind of my impressions to it, I am not opposed to a multiplayer of this game. I actually think that would be quite cool. This is a game that's like a mix of a lot of different things, right? Like there's like larger than life type enemies. There's like big boss fights, but it's got similar feel to like some of the more action RPGs. Like it's a game of all of these different kind of genres. I don't know if I can envision perfectly what like a multiplayer would be like, but I mean they compare it to GTA, right? So you imagine heists and just all these kind of objectives, or just being able to kind of go around the world and kind of do whatever and being able to do it with others, right? And then, I mean, honestly though, you could also be comparing it to GTA because of the money aspect, right? Like GTA makes a lot. In fact, they make a ton of money through the multiplayer, right? GTA Online. So, I mean, it's not something that I gotta be real, like care about in terms of like the spending. I would be interested to know if it's like a free thing. I think actually that would be a question a lot of people would probably be wondering, right? So is it like a additional thing? Is it like a future DLC that you got to pay $20 for? Or is it free and they hope that the game itself does well and then everybody buys into the multiplayer, right? Transfers over. And then you get however the percentage is, right, that buy stuff. To be honest, when it comes, again, like I said, I don't really care. I don't care in the sense that with that stuff, I'm not participating. I'm not buying skins. That's just not me. I just don't do that. I never really have. I never really will. So it's cool for those that would want to participate. It's, I get it. In fact, they kind of break it down themselves, right? Like this is a game that maybe corporations and probably in general in the gaming industry, right? A lot of these games that people are probably saying, well, okay, it's going to do well at launch, but if it sells 6 million and then it doesn't do anything afterwards, well, it's kind of a failure. I think bad way of looking at it, but that kind of is the way the industry is right now. So it's like, okay, well, how do you calm those people down? Well, we can tell you that we can do really well at launch, and then a year later we can have multiplayer, and then there's your constant revenue, right? That's honestly pretty easy, at least to say out loud and to kind of plan it that way. And I do think a multiplayer of this game would be rather cool. It's just I'm not going to participate in the paid content. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.